you know what to sell in an e-commerce store to make money, to actually be successful? So in this video, I'm going to give you a couple of tips. I've also created a list of over 200 products that you can sell and where to find them, which you can get down below. So hopefully that will help you. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what you can do with that list. How do you break it down? How do you figure out what is actually going to sell? First of all, you really have to decide what you want out of it, right? So there are a couple of different categories, and let's talk about it. Number one, there are trends. Now, these are things that are going to give you a lot of sales, and it's going to really, really help you. You're going to make a lot of money, and then it's going to die out, and it's going to fizzle out, and it's not going to be something that's probably ever going to be useful for you again. Example is when people bought a bunch of COVID masks, right? That was something that, was a trend. There's a lot of businesses that jumped on that, made a lot of money. Another example is when I made $10,000 in 1 week selling leggings on TikTok. I saw that it was a trend. I jumped on that trend. I sold the product. I made a ton of money. I'm never going to sell those leggings ever again, right? In fact, I had still a box left and I gave them to Goodwill. So it's not something that, now I'm going to make this brand on these leggings, right? It was, I'm just going to make some money, right? So that's one category. And it's not something you can build a business on. It's not something that is long-term. This is, I'm just going to make some money and then I'm out of here, right? Number two is if you have a social media following, if you have people that connect with you in some way already, and you want to build a brand, you want to launch a product, let's say, to that community, I would highly recommend that you take the list, to go through this list and ask yourself, of this list, what would most resonate with them, right? So do a little research. I've been using polls a lot on my TikTok where I have a little group there for e-commerce and everyone tells me what they want. So one of those things was, we really want to know about what to sell. So it's why I'm making this video, because everyone's like, what do I sell? So you can ask people what they want. There's always these polls and these things that you can put out on social media. You could ask and survey your email list. If you have a community, ask them. That's the easiest way, because you could go out there and do all kinds of research and try to figure it out yourself. And I've actually worked with people that have 3 million followers on YouTube, launch a course or something and nobody buys it. And then, one guy I worked with to help him figure it out, why. And the reality is that his audience and who loved his content was this group of people here. He didn't want to work with those people. And I have run into so many people that, I had another young man come to me. He was so passionate about his dog. He wanted to sell dog treats, natural homemade dog treats. And he was so passionate about it. And when I started to dive into who he needed to target, it was all women in their 50s, like myself. Because women in their 50s love their dog. And they, of course, they have the money to buy these types of treats. So I'm like, you really need to target these women. He's like, I don't want to target that. That's not who I want to target, right? So you have to understand who you're targeting and who's going to buy the said thing that you actually are offering. So make sure that if you already have a community, that they're going to actually buy what you are actually selling, right? So I sell an anti-aging serum over on my TikTok. I launch it every once in a while. It's something that I make. Because it's something that I make, it's not something that I sell in mass. It's not something I keep up all the time. Because I, run a marketing agency, I also don't always have time to be focusing on my e-commerce store. So it's kind of a side thing I turn on and I turn off every once in a while. But I have mostly women that are over 40 following me on social media over on my TikTok. So for that reason, it makes sense for them. That's what they want, right? So if I, sell other things that are anti-aging, other things that are going to help these women in any way, shape, or form, they're going to love it, right? So make sure that you figure out who your audience is, who your followers are, what are they searching for, what do they love, what other pages do they follow, and ask yourself what they would buy. Ask them what they would buy, what they would want. Then the last one is going to be, you're going to create a product, you're going to choose a product that you love, and then you're going to long-term build a brand around that because you believe in that product. And that's the thing that you want to sell. That's the brand that you want to build. Now, if that is you, this is what's really important, that you use a couple of tools. So number one, you're going to go in and you're going to use Jungle Scout. And now Jungle Scout now kind of targets large businesses, but they also help small business owners. And, long gone are the days where you could launch a product and just sell it on Amazon. Like you would go out there, you'd find out what's selling, where there's some market share left, and you'd launch a product and you make a ton of money. Long gone are those days because it became so saturated. But you can still go into Amazon and see what people are buying. And friends, that's the 99% that most people miss out on. The people that fail are those that go out and get a good idea that they so love, and they love the science behind it, and they love this about it, and they love that about it, or they make something for a living, like they knit whatever. They love it so much, they think it's wonderful, and nobody cares. Nobody else is selling it because nobody buys it. And if you're in that situation, there's a couple of things that you can do to improve your brand so that people would be interested in it. But it's going to be a far easier approach to go out there, look at the data, and ask yourself, what are people buying? The other thing is, make sure when you go out in the data, when are people buying them? Is it a seasonal product? Now you can listen to a podcast, and actually I'll put it down below, with one of the head executives over there at Jungle Scout, and we talked about what are the best selling products, right? So you can learn a little bit about the tool and all of that. I'll put that down below. But what's really important to understand is there are seasonal products, and I'll give you an example. So I worked with this company that was selling supplements, and they were selling men's hormones, right? And the ones that they were selling were actually a seasonal. They only sold during the summer. And I went out there and I pulled the information. I was like, okay, so the reason why you're struggling to get sales right now is because this is a seasonal product. So I would suggest that you come up with another product that you can sell during the wintertime that's, going to give you lots of sales, and then you focus on the other product during the summertime. And they were so livid. They were so angry at me for giving them the data. How dare you tell us that this is a seasonal product? The reality is they just didn't like the reality. They had built this whole business around a seasonal product that they were going to be able to sell only a few months out of the year. And in the end, they weren't really angry at me. They're just angry at the reality, right? And I find this a lot with people in the marketing space because data doesn't lie. And you can go out and you can look at the data of your social media. You can look at the data of other people selling products. You can look at the data, what are other people doing and what are other people selling? And instead of coming up with something brand new that nobody's buying, which a lot of people do, you can look at the data and then just copy it and bring your version, sell your version, and you're going to see far more success in that arena. So you want to make sure that if it's a seasonal product, that you consider that it's a seasonal product, okay? So you're going to look at the data. The other thing that I'm going to suggest to you is to do a little bit of competitor research. So you're going to go out there, you're going to find the other companies that are selling these products, and you probably find them on Amazon and other places. You can do a deep research inside of ChatGPT and say, give me all of the businesses that are selling this product, and what are they selling it for? Where's their audience? Who's buying it? All of this. Ask it to pull all of that data. You're going to get these websites either from Jungle Scout on Amazon, or you're going to get it from ChatGPT. You're going to go out there and you're going to look at their website. You're going to find their main website. You're going to pull that up, and you're going to go to semrush.com. I'll put a link to that down below. You're going to type that website in, and you're going to find out where they get their business. Okay, so you're going to look at their Facebook. You're going to go into About, and you're going to go into Transparency, and you're going to go into Ads. You're going to see, are they running Facebook ads? You're going to go into Google Advertising Transparency, and again, I'll put all these links down below. And you're going to find out what ads are they running in Google. All right. You're going to look in SEMrush, and you're going to look at the traffic. How much of their traffic is organic? What keywords are they being found for? How much traffic are they actually getting? SEMrush shows the paid traffic as well. So how much traffic do they get from their paid traffic? And then you'll know in reality how much sales they're actually getting, right? So if they're not getting that much organic traffic, then they're relying on ads. Okay, well, what are their ads? Are their ads competitive? Are they underpricing their products? Because a lot of times people will create a brand and they'll create products, and then they underprice their products because they're not selling, right? They'll do something uber cheap. So you want to do all of this study. You want to look at their social media, okay? Look at their Instagram, look at their YouTube, look at their Facebook, look at their LinkedIn. Where do they have the biggest audience? Look at their TikTok. Where do they have the biggest audience? Where are they getting the biggest ROI? And it's important when you look at their Instagram that you also go over to look at Facebook ads, because you want to ask yourself, are they just paying for ads? Are they just paying for views? Because that's what a lot of businesses do, and then they end up folding, right? They end up going under because nobody cares about their stuff. They have a lot of views, but there's no comments, there's no buyers, okay? So be very, very careful about that for people that just have these inflated numbers because they're just pouring money into views. Look at all of the channels and ask yourself, and looking at SEMrush, how much traffic is coming from their social media, because that's going to show up as organic traffic. How much are they paying for ads? What ROI are they getting? Where are their clients actually coming from? You will find that a lot of product-based businesses, I would say the majority of them, are depending on in-person sales. They're they're flopping on social media because they don't know how to do it. This is especially true in the beauty industry, where a lot of people just don't understand that just posting a photo of a product is not going to get you sales, okay? Where most people will go out there, they'll launch something, they'll do their social media, they'll start posting images of their product, and nobody cares about their product. They don't get any sales, they don't get any website traffic, their website's not converting. And the reality is that they just don't understand how social media works, how you actually get buyers, what your website has to look like. Like, you've got to set your website up for conversion, right? So just when you go out there and you're doing the competitive research, ask yourself all of these questions. Ask yourself what's working for them and what's not working for them. And then once you have all of that information, ask yourself, where are the competitive advantages? Like, you could even put this into ChatGPT. Okay, here's all the information I found on these people. Tell me where the opportunities are. Tell me what's the best idea for me. And give it the data, though, to help you make those decisions, right? And what I love about SEMrush, it'll actually give you an estimate of what they are paying for ads as well. So that's a really great indicator. And once you have all of this information, and you can decide, okay, do I just want to make a bunch of money really fast and I'm going to jump on a trend? You go find the trends. Do I want to find a product that people will buy and based off of the community that I already have? Then you just go do research. Do I want to find something that is going to sell that I can build a brand around? You're going to go do research, right? And if you have a brand that you love, that you make, that is homemade or whatever it may be, and people are not buying it, you can still go out there and see who is selling that thing and succeeding at it. Do the competitor research, find the other people that are selling it. What's their spin on it? Is it, connected to a charity? Is it connected to a deeper meaning? Is it buy this knitted sweater and X amount goes to this cause, right? Jump on the things that people care about and that people will jump on and that you care about, and you will take your business farther, right? So remember this, data doesn't lie. Follow the data and you're going to really be able to succeed faster, and you'll be able to go farther depending on what goal you have. So hopefully this video is helpful for you. Consider subscribing, and we'll see you next week.